Thanks for joining me today. Today's counselling conversation is going to be around the word and the emotional content of shame, particularly when it's based in trauma from childhood abuse of some form. When you experience terrible things at a younger age, it can affect your thought patterns, and the way it manifests itself throughout your life is because everything is based on your experience in the past as a child. And working with a counsellor is about looking at why shame is in the room with us and what it means to you, and looking at it from a point of view of now as an adult who's looking back, not experiencing as you did at that point in the past as a child. So this is really an expression of gratitude to the work of Carolyn Spring at PODS. Carolyn is a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, and she talks about the effects it's had on her life and how she has worked through some of the issues and how counselling has helped her. And her work for me has been absolutely life-changing with my work as a counsellor in that field as well. So let's look at the definition of shame. Shame is a painful experience. It's caused by conscious, so the conscious mind and the engagement with guilt, distress, a sense of improper. Something improper has happened, and you take it on board and experience the emotion as shame because you cannot make sense of it. And so as humans, we look for blame. And blame, guilt and shame often are in the room together, and shame is the emotion that you're left with. So Carolyn Spring, she talks about the antidote to shame is empathy. So the definition of empathy is the sharing and understanding, the vicariously experiencing, so with your whole self, experiencing compassion for self, for others, and being able to take that from others for yourself. Very difficult to be able to do all of those things, but that's how the work with counselling happens. It happens around being able to be kind, compassionate and empathetic to yourself over something that happened to you rather than something that you created to happen. So compassion allows the willingness to be vulnerable. And being vulnerable is a very, very scary, difficult thing. And that's what the counselling relationship offers you, the support, so that you can have a look at shame and work with it, opening up your vulnerability and offering that to others. Counselling offers the wound that childhood abuse and shame make you feel that you carry around, and it offers you somewhere for that to heal. Healing of the past for the present, in the present, helps the future. So recognising that a place of healing offers hope, because shame is a place where there is no hope. There's also a sense of being, I'm not deserving of hope, of love, of nice things. My expectation is that things happen as they did before, and shame convinces me that that's my part in it. So because shame is based on the powerlessness of a child, when we're addressing it together in the counselling room, we're looking at it from a place of adult, a place of power, a place of choice and of ownership. And so together we can have a look at that. And Carolyn Spring again talks about that you have the choice to take control, and you have the choice to believe that your expectation is you are deserving of a future without shame. So the paradox of shame, the three things to have a look at are self-care. You've got to be nice to yourself. Kindness to yourself, to others, because you deserve that. And that's part of the self-care, is the belief, the emotional content, the connection with you as a person who is a survivor of something terrible. Why would you not offer yourself some love? Because you're amazing. And then have a look around you. All human beings have also experienced shame. Now, that's not to say it's a comparison, and it doesn't mean to say that one person's shame is more or less important, as unimportant as somebody else's, because it's always relevant to you, to yourself. But it does make you understand that actually human beings have all experienced shame to a certain extent. You are not alone in this emotional experience. And the shame of carrying shame is actually a shared thing. And if you are able to open up and share, then you might realise that actually you aren't alone and that there are others there who can also offer hope because they've experienced it too. And then finally, that realisation of nobody is perfect and that's okay. So when we're being mindful, when we're looking and noticing the shame, when we're feeling it, we're experiencing it, we're talking about it, and more importantly, we are allowing it to be there in the room with us. Because if we can accept that we're carrying shame, we can accept it, and that takes the power out of it. And we can look at why we don't need to have that with us anymore. And perhaps, often, why it shouldn't have been there in the first place. But this isn't about regrets, and it's not about, again, beating yourself up. I should have done this years ago, why didn't I do that? It's about allowing yourself to say, right now, today, shame doesn't have a place here. There is no reason for shame to be in the room or in my life, affecting and draining and changing my choices and options, because I can work on it being accepted and look at it with empathy and look at it with compassion, and then I can own it and dispel it. So that was a little look into shame when it comes from a place of trauma, a place of abuse. And as I say, it's my expression of utter gratitude to Carolyn Spring at Pods and the work that she does, and in offering that to the rest of the therapeutic world, so that working, we have a better idea of what it's like on both sides of that. And that's so helpful, so important. So thank you to her. Thank you to you for joining me today, and take care. And I hope maybe to see you online sometime. Thank you. Bye-bye.